Welcome to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. Jackie, a Big Blend radio podcast that features Dr. Jacqueline Ubani, a board-certified cardiologist and electrophysiologist and author of the best-selling book, Women and Heart Disease, The Real Story. Welcome, everyone. It is the new year. It is 2025, and a lot of us are looking at our goals. And if you know Dr. Jackie Ubani on our shows and from her book, Women and Heart Disease, The Real Story, you know that she's going to say one of your top goals this year and future years should be heart health, good heart health. And she says that because heart disease remains the number one killer of women and men in the United States, killing more of us than breast and lung cancer combined. So with taking some actionable steps and making some lifestyle changes, we can reverse that. Isn't that up to 80%, Dr. Jackie? Welcome back and Happy New Year.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be on the show, and Happy New Year to you as well. And yes, you're absolutely right. It can decrease your risk for heart disease by up to 80%, according to research.
Wow. And, you know, that's the other thing too, is many of us, may have had like a heart health incident, you know, recently, and suddenly your life's upside down and, you know, you can't really mess around. Like when the doctors say, you know, you've had a triple bypass, don't smoke anymore. That's like, you really can't. You need to stop.
Yes. You have to implement lifestyle changes. Exactly. Because once you've had a cardiac event, your risk of having another one is higher than the general population who have not had a heart event. So you really have to implement lifestyle changes to prevent another.
Okay. When you say an event, I think a party, and somehow I don't think we're on the same line there. But,
when you've had a cardiac event, not like you said, like a heart attack, you've had bypass surgery, I consider those cardiac events. Anything health related that
and
involves
hypertension,
your heart.
stroke.
Yes.
That's an event too. Like anything where suddenly you're seeing someone with a white coat on and you didn't expect that, like that's an event.
And it's related to your heart. Yes.
And you're being wheeled somewhere. That's not good.
That's correct.
And freewheeling is fun, but being pushed around, you know, something's going on. So this, you know, I'm excited about this because we want heart health to be fun. You and I have this discussion, Nancy and I, and we've talked about this for years about, you know, the stress of it all. Don't get overstressed. Just try to make these simple steps. And I think that's really what we're talking about today is 5 simple steps to good heart health. I'm going to start with the hardest one because I know it's hard because I've done it, but I've done it and it feels really good to have done it. And that is to quit smoking or vaping. And that includes smoking pot because pot is legal in a lot of places, marijuana, however you want to say it. And people are forgetting, they may think, oh, it's healthier because it's plant-based and it's all of this, but that's still smoke and tar coming into your lungs, right? So that should still be looked at as a no-no.
Yes. Quitting smoking is an absolute must. If you smoke and you have, you know, any kind of heart issues, quitting smoking can actually decrease your risk of having another cardiac issue by up to 33%. Like you said, smoking is very dangerous because all the smoke from the burning of the cigarette contains a lot of carcinogens. And carcinogens are things that cause cancer, and they can affect every single organ system in your body, not just your heart. So quitting smoking is a very important step in choosing a healthier lifestyle.
Quitting smoking, and you also say vaping. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, vaping, I'm doing like the clean smoking.
No, vaping is also not good for your heart because it's still the same nicotine that's in the cigarettes. And nicotine is actually a very addictive agent. It's just as addictive as cocaine or any of those other hard drugs. But yes, that's also bad for you.
Speaking of that, hard drugs, I remember you saying, like, you do it once, it's going to come back and get you later.
It can. You can cause permanent damage from using, you know, these hard drugs that you end up discovering much later, especially after you become clean. and you discover you developed heart disease as a result of use of these hard drugs years ago.
Mm. I'm glad to see the younger generation being a little bit more on the cleaner side of life, you know? Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading all these articles now about people not drinking as much and, trying to exercise, trying to live a healthier lifestyle. And that just warms my heart.
I think it's exciting because and medicine has also changed a lot. I've been watching documentaries and we do so many interviews too, but it seems like the healthcare system is hard to navigate it on the other side as a patient at times, right? But
Yes.
it seems like so many new things are coming about to help patients, even if it's one of those day surgeries, like you go in and it's an outpatient thing, I think is what you call it.
Yes.
And you're not, some of the virtual reality that they're using means that you don't actually have to take drugs like you may have thought, even for like a dental work and things like that. So they're trying to minimize hardcore drugs. It seems like slowly and slow, you need drugs at times, if you need blood pressure pills and stuff like that. But, it seems that we're trying to get cleaner and do alternatives. Have you seen that at all in heart health of, trying to get people to number one, like what you're doing, let's not have hypertension, period.
Yes. Yes. I think preventative cardiology is very important. You want to prevent having, the heart attack, the stroke. You want to prevent all that by doing all these lifestyle changes in advance. But in
Mhm.
the event that you do develop, hypertension, strokes and all that stuff, at that point, you most likely need to be on drugs or medications to help with that. But definitely preventing it from happening from the start
Mm.
is always the best way to go.
Well, you can go and turn it around too, if you really focus on it and incorporate this as a lifestyle, right? And that's the simple steps we're talking about. So the smoking part and the vaping and the drugs, that is, and just go on a program if you can and, drink a lot of water. I drank a ton of tea, ton of water, and I locked myself away from any friend that could, influence me to want to have a cigarette. I even had to change my diet because if you had like a really good meal, the first thing you wanted to do was go outside and have a cigarette afterwards,
Yeah.
So yeah, I changed what I ate even. And
Yeah.
the healthier you start to feel, the more your body, you don't, those cravings go away. So
Yeah.
let's go into the diet part because it's like in the walking and all of that, because once you do these small steps, it will help with the big one, which is the smoking, right? And, um, you don't have to be perfect. If you fall off the wagon, just forgive yourself and get back to it.
Yes. I
People get over perfect on stuff. Just don't freak out. Just get back on the wagon.
Yes, I agree with you. You should just get back on the wagon and, just take care of yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself because it makes it difficult to stick to a program if you're so afraid of failing. It's okay to fall off the wagon, but you must get back on the wagon.
Yeah, try hard not to, just wear your seatbelt, you know, have those
Right.
things in place of like when I really crave, well, maybe for me, it was peppermint tea. For me, eat a stalk of celery or something. Try and find a healthier alternative to get past that second and just keep going. This too shall pass. It's another thing, and maybe not be around your loved ones at the time because apparently we get annoying when the nicotine is leaving our bodies. Um, the diet though, I think is an exciting thing. We go through the holiday season. We always talk about that. Like, all right, you don't need 10 cookies. You can have one, but, um, January is hard because it's depending on where you live. You might be living where it's still cold and you want to have as much melted cheese on that mac and cheese with a side order of garlic toast and maybe like a steak. I don't know. But this is not being good, right? So the Mediterranean diet, you are just like a huge, you cheerleader for it. And I think it's something that we really can, even though if the weather's cooler, we can
Hmm.
have like chicken and we can have warm salads and vegetables and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So the Mediterranean diet is one of the diets that have been shown by the American Heart Association to actually decrease your risk for heart disease. And what the Mediterranean diet entails is it emphasizes increasing your vegetable, fruits intake, whole grains, beans and legumes, and limit your sugars, sugary drinks, processed foods. So it's a healthier option for you, and and it's good for your heart.
Mm, I like this. I like it. And, like asparagus is in season, those kinds of
Right.
things.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Seasonal vegetables are always good and they're cheaper too.
Oh, see, there it is. Now you're helping your wallet. It's the truth. The healthier you are, the more you're not spending your money on things that aren't good for you. And then you have money to like extra money to maybe do something on your house, maybe pay off debt, which is stress, causing, and or like go travel and have some fun because fun with friends and family, that to me is also like part of reducing stress, right? Is to have fun. I mean, they talk about this movement with the blue zones of eating the Mediterranean diet, but then getting to know your community and having fun together, having meals together, using the Mediterranean diet actually. Um, so what do you think about that part of it in regards to, because I know stress is also a huge factor in heart disease.
Yes, I agree with you completely. Having fun with friends and family is very important. It's actually on the pyramid scale for, the Mediterranean diet. So it actually recommends, hanging out with family, friends, having good meals with them. But yes, overall, having fun, having, spending time with friends and family members that you get along with, of course, helps reduce stress and is good for your heart.
Ah, I like this. Now, exercise, our 1 hour walk group, it's time for us to get that rekindled. I think January is like the time we need to go walkies, even if it's cold, find like, even if it's your lunch break, get out there in the sun if you can. A 1 hour
Yes.
walk, you said what? We only need to do what, 150 minutes of walking a week to be
Yes,
good? Woohoo!
yeah, only 150 minutes minimum is required for any kind of heart health. But of course, if you can do more, by all means, do more. You just have to move. You have to get out there. You got to get your heart rate elevated. Just even a little bit is always healthy for the heart. And you're right. January is the time, during the holidays, you have friends, you have family over, and it tends to be a stressful time. Definitely take time out to, walk and help, and that definitely helps relieve your stress.
Mm. And it moves the toxins out of your body. So if you're trying to quit smoking, this helps get that stuff out, you know,
Yes.
drinking water and staying hydrated, especially if it's cold, get that stuff out. Like walking helps. I did my walkies this morning with two dogs and,
Good for
they
you.
took me, no, and cause I've been a little lax, I'm sorry to say. But then Dr. Jackie comes on shows and like it kind of like you gotta start practicing, girl.
Start
And I did.
practicing.
But I tell you, my body's already like your body responds when you do something for it.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like it got all excited. Like I felt like the dog I was gonna start sniffing the bushes. I was like, yay, this is fun. And
Yes,
I'm like, how do we sometimes life just gets us all busy.
it does.
And
It does.
I think
Yeah, life.
that part is big is to take a walk or like do yoga or something to
Yes. Yeah, no,
detach.
I'm with you. Exercising makes me feel good. It's always hard to, muster up the energy to do it, but once you do it, you just feel great for the rest of the day. You have energy and yeah, so I'm with you. I love exercising.
Now, what about, the stress release part of it? We talk about exercise as a good part of it and happiness and friends. But I know we've talked about this before on shows with you, but I think, calm and looking, the happiness could be of, we tend to, as a society, especially in this country, or, being in one of these kinds of countries, it's kind of like overachievers, right? And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that if it's in balance. And sometimes we're going for things that maybe it's not even necessary. I had a friend who, climbed to the top of the company and realized at the top of the company that she like was miserable and the
Yeah,
money was not worth
it
it.
was
Not,
not worth it.
and
Yeah.
she went, "Can I be demoted?" And they're like, "Yeah, you were awesome at that." And she's happy and smiling. I haven't seen her smile and she still works crazy hours and stuff, but what she was putting herself through just because she's a
Yeah,
very driven woman. And,
yeah,
and we all are, right? You're a doctor. I mean, you had to go to doctor school. That's crazy in
yeah,
itself. But,
yeah.
we can we balance out a little bit and look at what we do have. You talk about practicing gratitude, and it shouldn't just be over Thanksgiving. I think if we kind of adopt more of that into our daily lifestyle. I belong to a Facebook group there where you write every day 5 things you're grateful for, and it could be the
Oh,
same
that's
thing every
great.
day. It could be like the sun is out, I have clean
Yes.
water,
I
you
woke up
know.
this morning, it's a beautiful day outside. I'm grateful for my family. Yes, there's so much. I completely agree with that. Practicing gratitude is so important for stress relief and happiness because a lot of times you said life just gets us all bogged down and, we get under a lot of stress. But if we practice gratitude, if we just appreciate just the little things in life, it reminds you, it grounds you, and it makes you less stressed and more happy about your life, I believe.
Well, I think too, the we get bogged down, but it is this chase after something, and we all need to do those kinds of goals. But what we have, when you have any dose of joy or happiness, doesn't that change the chemicals in our body to be more positive and reduce stress? Like, don't we get happy chemicals and hormones that tell the negative ones to back off? Like it's their turn. And then your heart says, "Okay, I'm happy, yippee,"
Yeah, I
and
mean,
not so stressed, and I'm not going to be all
yeah.
cranky, and now I can have an even flow, a good heartbeat. Does that make sense?
I mean, I think it does because I think a happier me has more energy than a stressed out me. When you're happier, you have more energy, you can focus more, you think more, and you make better decisions as opposed to being stressed out and just grumpy and just not having a good day. But I believe that happiness contributes to productivity. It
Yeah,
does.
it does. And productivity is good.
Yeah.
Meditation, what are your thoughts on that for and breathing exercises, those kinds of things? I think it's,
Oh,
to me, an easy step. We may
yeah.
not be so physical and walking like 150 minutes through the week. So even if you have to do it in 5-minute increments or something, to do it slow and build up, that's cool.
Yeah.
But breathing and meditation,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's an important step in, stress relief. I love meditating for one. I mean, it just calms me down and makes me centered. And yeah, it just helps me be a better person. It's a tough thing. It can be a tough habit to pick up, but once you pick it up and you practice it
oh,
daily, you will start to reap the benefits of it. And I think,
mm.
meditation is a good way to relieve stress.
Okay. Now here comes another big thing. All right. So we've done a lot of fun and easy things. The smoking is hard. We recognize
Smoking's
that. But
hard.
here's another one that I'm going to put out there for plans that you could do some serious steps for your heart health. And this is called getting tested. And blood pressure and diabetes, would those be, or cholesterol too? What should we
Yeah.
be getting tested for to see? Like, if we're going to now just pick up some initiative here and say, okay, I wonder how my heart is. What do I go and get tested for?
Yeah, you should at least try to see your primary care doctor once or twice a year, so that you can get tested for, your blood pressure. If you don't have a blood pressure cuff at home, they would at least do that. You can get blood work done to see if you're diabetic or if you have high cholesterol. But these illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, and high cholesterol, they're pretty much asymptomatic. That is, you don't feel anything. You don't know that anything is wrong until you get tested. So I would encourage you to go to your primary care doctor at least once if not twice a year, um, for just a general checkup. And during these general checkups, you get tested for these illnesses that you can actually try to start either preventing from happening or just preventing them from getting worse.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in my age group especially are like pre-diabetes, they call it, I think, where they're
Yes.
almost there and doctors are like, you're about to hit it if you don't turn things around now. And if they turn it around for diabetes, they're turning it around for heart health, right? Same with blood
Yes,
pressure. Strokes are
absolutely.
related to blood pressure and heart disease, cholesterol, all of it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, they all go hand in hand. And it's the same lifestyle changes that improves one that improves all of them.
Mm, very cool. Now, what is your first word of the month for 2025?
So my first word of the month is angina. Angina is chest pain due to a blockage, a significant blockage in your heart. So when you have blockage in your heart and you're not getting enough oxygen through this blockage to supply the heart with enough or adequate amounts of oxygen nutrients it needs, it causes pain. And this pain is what we call angina. And it's usually an indication that there is a problem with your heart.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we're on a good start. I know it's
Yes.
serious, but
Yes.
there's steps we can do, you know, just kind of put it in your journal, maybe write it down,
Yeah.
that you've done some of these steps and look at the doctor, make friends with the doctor and be checked and tested and all that good
Tested.
stuff because
Yes.
it's better to find out early. Isn't that with any
Yes.
kind
With
of health
anything.
thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes. With anything. The earlier it's picked up, the better your survival, the more likely it is to be treated, and potentially cured. That's with anything. Yes.
Mm. One last question before you go. I know a lot of people are doing no sugar as a diet thing because like sugar and cancer, if you're
Hmm.
reducing sugar intake, especially like high fructose corn syrup and all those kinds of things, um, does that also have a positive
It
effect on your
definitely,
heart?
yes, it definitely does. Reducing your or cutting out sugar definitely does reduce your risk for heart disease.
All right, so no more gummy bears for the rest of this year. I'll take a big stop on my gummy bears. I have healthy snacks for the road. I have been eating Melissa's. They come out of Southern California where you are, Dr. Jackie. They have what's called clean snacks. And instead of eating gummy bears, this is what I've been eating,
Uh-huh.
pumpkin seeds with
Oh,
chia and flaxseed.
oh, interesting. That sounds good.
It is. There's a little sugar in there, but
Okay.
not it's not hydrogenated. Oh, it's got
Okay.
sesame seeds,
Okay.
yeah, a little rice syrup and a little cane sugar. That's it.
Okay. That
That's a
sounds
it's
good.
a little bit better than gummy bears.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
And you're not allowed to eat all of it at once. But
Yeah.
anyway, pumpkins, pumpkin seeds,
Pumpkin
chia seeds,
seeds,
and flax.
chia
Yeah.
seeds, and flax seeds. Yeah,
Hmm.
anything in moderation is good.
Okay, I'll behave. I'll behave. Well, thank you so much. As always, I love the fact that, we can reduce our risk by 80% of having, a risk of heart disease by 80% by lifestyle changes. And so when we look at what are we looking for in 2025, I'm going to say definitely let's watch our stress. Let's kick it off like, hey, don't stress over your New Year's resolutions. Just make them a goal. Just calmly go, what can I do today? Let's calmly do this,
Yes.
and collectively, if you have friends that can do it with you too, that's even better. Even with the smoking thing, if you and your friends are smoking and vaping, try and make a pact together to keep strong on not doing it. It
I
helps
like
too.
that.
It
I
really
like that.
does. Like if you're going to go walking, have some walking buddies because it's like, no, I'm going to come pick you up at your house at 6 in the morning. And if I have to bang on that door, break through, yeah, through that window. I'll throw rocks at your window. Get up. Let's go. Having friends as a support network is really great. It's really great. So it's very cool. And don't forget to celebrate your successes, right?
Yes, celebrate your successes.
Yes, have a nice Mediterranean style dinner with 1 glass of 5 ounces of wine.
Agreed.
Awesome. Well, thank you,
Awesome.
Dr. Jackie. Everyone, again, keep up with Dr. Jackie at womenandheartdiseasebook.com. Take care and happy, healthy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thanks for joining us on Big Blend Radio's Heart Healthy Living Show with Dr. Jackie. New episodes air every second Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can keep up with Dr. Jackie at womenandheartdiseasebook.com. Listen to the shows at bigblendradio.com.